What's going on, everybody? This your boy Josh. I'm back again. First and foremost, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody who checked out my first three videos, I guess. The two spoiler talks and the non-spoiler review of Captain America Civil War. A lot of people wanted me to go into depth, and I did mention that I would go into a third movie review or spoiler talk. So yeah, I'm back. Just thank you first and foremost. It really means a lot. For supporting all the subscribers that I got, man. I'll try to respond to everybody and give you as much detail as I can. I saw the movie on April 14th now, so it's been a minute. So I will be going to see it again, but my review shouldn't change. We could just discuss more details about the airport because it's been a minute. I know I can remember the big parts, but just like every interaction, I can't really remember right now. So I'm sorry. Um, uh, but what I really wanted to do this video for, if I don't get on anything else, was Zemo. I did say that in the last video, I believe. So Zemo uh, in this film was almost like a wasted opportunity. Um, in my opinion. But with certain news coming out as the film has been leading up to releasing in America, it kind of gives me hope, but I'm not particularly sure if that's the route they're going to take the character. And I'm not going to sit here and talk to y'all like I know Zemo, like I was super familiar with him because I've never been like a super duper fan of Captain America in the comic books. I've always been, honestly, I've been a huge X-Men fan. I love Magneto. Magneto's one of my favorite characters, and Black Panther fan. So that's why you see I'm always saying like I love Black Panther. But to not get off of that topic, I wasn't really familiar with Zemo, but I've heard some things about how this Zemo is supposed to be the second incarnation, or I guess his son, Helmet Zemo, and then Baron Zemo, I guess. Um, Forgive me, I don't want to talk about that. I just know that supposedly he's supposed to be super strong, like a super soldier, and skilled in hand-to-hand combat, a master tactician, and all this stuff like that. So let me go into the problem that I have with Captain America: Civil War, and it's so small, and Zemo himself. Um, Zemo, okay, one of the big things that is a pro and both a con with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the connectivity. It's awesome to see all of these other action heroes or these action stars and these superheroes interacting in each other's movies and stuff like that. And you can get bigger stories. We all got to see Avengers. We was all wild about that, and it's dope. Um, but the connectivity also leads to the problem where characters or certain story plots or devices or whatnot are placed in movies, or characters aren't fully fleshed out, or they don't get everything that they truly deserve in what's supposed to be a standalone film, is because they have to build off of something else in the previous film, or they have to introduce something that's going to be in the next set of films or in the next film or whatnot. So it's a pro and a con, because like let's see, I'm sorry, I guess a movie that, let's say a movie that suffered from that recently was Age of Ultron, and maybe it was because Joss Whedon was burnt out and they had to do this, that, and the third. But one of the worst scenes that they say about Age of Ultron was Thor in that pool. Why does my hand keep slipping? I'm sorry. Was Thor in that pool, and it was just like random. And if once you saw the Blu-ray, you saw that I think they went into more in depth into why he was in the pool and he was talking to a demon or something like that, and that's why Selvig had to write it down. Not a demon, but just like some, he was talking to some extraterrestrial that they were conjuring from the pool, and it made sense in that once you saw it all together. But the way that it was jammed in the movie, it just didn't make sense. So, anyways, I felt the same way with Zemo, and the more that I thought about it, the more I felt like there were wasted opportunities with this. Zemo in this film is introduced in Cleveland. Like I said, they do flashcards. So Zemo is introduced in Cleveland, and he's introduced as like an unnerving guy. Like he's just like super unnerving. He's like one of those psychopaths that people see and you're like, you know, he's like a super nice guy, but you know he's a psychopath, so it's kind of like unnerving to just to watch him. And so he's going to retrieve the mission report from the book with the star on it, and star that had the sequence of codes that can reprogram Winter Soldiers, and so he's going, and in the end, at the end, of, if you remember, at the end of Winter Soldier, what's her name, Black Widow, she released all the information that was from Shield and Hydra basically onto the internet for anybody to see. So Zemo, being the person that he is in this movie, he searches that, and he finds out some old Hydra agents, and I think he finds them in Cleveland. I believe it was that he found them in Cleveland. You got to forgive me if I miss up anything, like I said, because it's been since April 14th. I will definitely be going to see it next week. But yeah, it's almost a couple of weeks, almost a month since I saw the movie. But this is what I have to take from Zemo. So Zemo goes to this Hydra agent, and has him tied upside down, and his head is in like almost like a kitchen sink, but not like a kitchen sink, like one of those restaurant sinks and stuff like that, and it's like filling up with water. So it's right where, you know, he can still be able to talk and all that stuff like that, and he's asking them for the mission report, and he's being like one of those soldiers where he's just like he'll rather die than give up the information. So, you know, Zemo, he's basically like he didn't care, and so he cut the water on, and he's like, he drowns a man, he kills a man, and it's like, oh, that's crazy. You know, that's just like a horrible way to die. I would hate to die like that. And then you also see him ordering food or whatever, and she's like, the woman thinks he's nice, and he's eating like bacon and eggs or whatever, and he has like a bomb in his room, So for the small parts that Zemo is in there, Zemo also he delivers. Okay, Zemo does two things. Zemo blows up the UN, which kills King T'Chaka, and he frames it to make it seem as if the Winter Soldier was the one that blew him up, and the Winter Soldier has nothing to do with this. He's off in like, I forgot where he was at. I don't know if it was Nepal or somewhere, but I can't remember. But he's off doing something, trying to mind his business, trying to regain his sanity and stuff like that. And so that's why Black Panther is after the Winter Soldier this whole movie. So that's one of his first plans or whatever. You get it. So that's when he gets retrieved. I've said this in another video about the chase. Bucky gets retrieved, and the Winter Soldier gets put into a cell where, you know, he can't move or whatever. And so while he's in this cell, Zemo, who they later reveal killed Joe Russo, the director. He's supposed to be like a psychologist. He comes in there to activate the Winter Soldier. So he starts reading the books, and the Winter Soldier starts freaking out. Trying to beat. He's trying to get out of his cage, but he's just sitting there. He's sitting there as being just like condescending and talking to him, and all that stuff like that, and reading him the sequence. And he gets the mission report. So the mission report takes him to where the super soldiers are. There are super assassins. There's like a kill team of like 5 people. They show a flashback, and they're just like whooping ass. And I think they even at one point in time they were fighting against Winter Soldier. I guess they were training, and the Winter Soldier's supposed to be, you know, like training them and all this stuff like that. And they just spaz, and they start killing people. So they had to be shut down. And but he was telling them that Bucky was telling them that they're a super kill team. And so then you're like, okay, Zemo, this is what Zemo is doing. Is he like an old Hydra agent or something like that, and he's going to release these super agents or these super assassins on the world? And I'm like, okay, that's pretty menacing. So they had like a whole bunch of kills, and some of those kills were even credited to the Winter Soldier. So, you know, they or was it all of them? It might have all been put on the Winter Soldier. I can't remember, you know, because he's like the face of Hydra too. Long story short, because like I said, I don't know if my thing has increased or not, but I only have like 15 minutes. So he does that, and I'm automatically thinking like, okay, yeah, this is menacing. He's gonna be like releasing these soldiers onto the world, which is cool. What it eventually ends up being is a long ploy for him to get to those super soldiers, and he didn't want any more of them. So if you've seen the show Jessica Jones, I don't want to, this is spoiler talk, so whatever. One of the episodes of Jessica Jones is where she gets framed, and there are people that are there, not framed, she gets tricked, and there are people that are there that almost they try to kill Jessica because they're upset with her and people like her, the super people who come in, and I think maybe their daughter died. I can't remember. It's been a while since I saw Jessica Jones. Um, but but yeah, so his plan is similar to that in the fact that uh, he goes up there and he kills these super assassins. He just kills them. He flat out kills all five of them. And I'm like, okay, I thought that's what this his diabolical plot was. So his plot ended up being to show the footage of of the Winter Soldier killing Tony Stark's parents, and Tony sees it. Tony sees it, um, and Bucky is there. This is where that double team fight is. This is the last act. So hold on, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, lost. This is the last act. So Tony sees it. They're all on good terms right then at that point in time, or they're on eggshells, but they're not as bad as they have been throughout course of movie. So they're all there, and Tony, they see the footage, and Tony, Zemo shows them the footage, and Tony asks, "Did Cap know about this and all that stuff like that?" And Cap knew about it. Bucky's obviously the one that did it, and so his plan is to tear them away from the inside, basically, just split up the Avengers. So they start fighting, and that was his thing. And like towards the end of the movie, I always end up talking so much. I'm gonna get better at this, but towards the end of the movie, like they're talking, and Black Panther ends up showing up there, and Zemo, he listens to his daughter on the phone, or his family on the phone, and they died in the Sokovia Accord, or the Sokovia incident in Age of Ultron. So that's why he's doing this. This is all because he's Age of Ultron, from Age of Ultron, and he's from Sokovia in this movie. So I mean, I get it. It's not as bad as what it is, but it just didn't feel like it didn't fulfill what it was. And he does mention that he is a regular human or whatnot. And he almost tries to take his life, but Black Panther keeps him from taking his life or whatever. But he just wanted to put the Avengers against each other and just rift the team. Now the reason I had a problem with that is because, like, once again, I was building up to the super assassins. I thought that was what was going to happen. But then I thought about it too. It's like, okay, if he's from Sokovia in this movie, there's no acknowledgement between him and Scarlet Witch or anything like that, which was a missed opportunity because Scarlet Witch is obviously from Sokovia and she lost Quicksilver, which is an opportunity right there for them to connect or do anything like that. She's an OP character in the movie anyway, so I guess she could fix or control or damage a lot of the stuff. But that's just a couple of my thoughts, man. I just felt like he was a little bit. It just, well, the rug was pulled from underneath me, and the only saving thing, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I mean, but it is a kind of a slight on the movie because the movie, like I said, like you can almost get to the points that everything is going, like you could naturally do that. All that stuff could naturally be done without Zemo coming in and out and just being the orchestrator of it. But one of the good things about it is that Zemo does live, and he's in captivity at the end of the movie. And I've heard rumblings that maybe down the line, especially if the Russos keep writing this stuff like this, and they are in charge of Infinity War, that maybe they could do what is it, the Masters of Evil, and maybe he dons his purple mask and all that stuff like that. But all in all, Civil War is still a great movie. That's just a small slight, man. If you want to nitpick, I still liked it. I still love the movie actually. So sorry for talking so much. Maybe I'll do another video. Maybe it'll be on Civil War. Maybe it'll be on some other comic book stuff. But until then, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be easy.